Okay, welcome to another Tuesday night, guys. So since today we have a relatively small crowd, we decided, even though I have something prepared, maybe we'll throw it into the middle. I'm going to give you guys this opportunity to ask away. Ask the rabbi. Or ask, go ahead, any questions you have. Just please not dating. What you asked before was a good question.
It's saturated with the dating question. It's saturated. It's like a broken record at this point.
The truth, I know. That's why I stopped doing classes.
I like that.
Because the truth is, if you want, you'll get married. You'll make it work out.
Yeah.
If you don't want, and you're looking for that, I don't know what people are looking for, but it's never gonna work out. You have to understand there are down and ups in every human being, and you have to make the best of it. That's it. I was not perfect. My wife wasn't perfect. We got married. We made ourselves perfect. It's a totally different ball game.
Okay, so
you know what I mean? Like, what's going on? We'll still continue. Don't worry. Go ahead.
alright, so first question is, I feel like
Today is Ask Your Question Day.
Ask the rabbi.
Ask your, how you doing? I would say your name, but it's recording. I don't know if you want me to say your name. No, right?
Hey,
Go.
what's it called? So I want to ask if this world is basically hell, or we have hell next.
No, you
world.
asked another question. You asked, sometimes I feel like I'm already in hell.
Yeah. Yes.
That was your question. You had a comment, right? Let's elaborate on that. It's a very, let me tell you something. It's a very interesting question. Let's think about it. We come down to this world, right? We come down to this world for what?
Suffer.
You're saying that because that's what you're going through right now.
No, I'm just saying.
So you think we're only in this world to suffer?
No, I think we're here to fix all our midot, all these
No, but
things.
okay, we fix, we don't fix whatever, we die. Now what? Was the goal of this world to go back up there?
No.
So what's the point?
See, I don't know if I'm asking.
It's a good question. Like, we're here, we work hard, we earn olam haba, and we come back. But weren't we already in olam haba? It says, the Gemara says that Hashem takes us out and He puts us back to this world. Like, what's the point? What's this recycling? It seems so pointless, so purposeless, such a recycling of nonsense, right? Let's be honest. Let's ask the questions that people have to ask. These are serious questions. What is the point? So I'm going to tell you how I look at it. And this is what helped me grow in my own spirituality. I also, even though I grew up in a religious home, I still had a different kind of mindset. I never did anything drastic like what people say they did. Whatever. I went a little left, a little right, a little left, a little right, whatever the case is. But Lamaisa, what's the point? What brought me back to this realization? And the truth is, life is 10% of your experiences and 90% of how you break down those experiences. That's life. I'm explaining to you what I mean. Let's say someone loses a lot of money. A lot of money. And he has two ways of looking at it. I'm done, I'm depressed, I have to pay people back, I don't know what to do. And he starts to trip and bug out. Then you have another guy that says, okay, I lost it. Now I gotta hustle more in order to get back on my feet. I cannot sulk about the situation. I can't sulk about it. What? Is anything going to change if I'm going to start whining and being depressed and just sleeping all day? I'm just going to make the situation worse. And then you have a guy that says, yo, I got to work harder. I cannot stay like this. I must. What happens? He hustles so much that suddenly he sees an enormous amount of success coming out of everywhere. Why? Because right now he's in the stage of uncomfortability. He has to hustle in order to make it. So what just actually happened? You build your hell and you build your heaven on this earth. You are the decider of how you feel at the end of the day. You are the one that makes the conclusion, am I living a peaceful life or am I living an unpeaceful life? And that's why I laugh at people and I say, how could you not want to have a good life? How could you not want to have a good spouse and have a good profession and good kids? Because that's really really, in a sense, that's a Gan Eden. That's heaven. Heaven on this earth is having a good, peaceful life. But that starts with changing how you look, how you think of life. You have to take that mindset of selfishness and just about me, and because what happens when you get depressed? You're only depressed because at that moment you're thinking about yourself. You're not thinking about everyone else or thinking about the responsibility. I'm not telling you to do things because of others. You have to do it for yourself. But in the same time, you have to understand you're in a boat. And when you are in a bad situation, people around you also end up being in a bad situation. So automatically it changes a person. Or let's say someone's going out with a girl. And they've been going out for years and they really like each other. And it didn't work out. Didn't work out. And he's all depressed and she moved on. She got married. And then, God forbid, you find out that she did some znoot with another guy while she got married. How good you're going to feel that moment? You're going to say, I dodged a bullet. But if you had that mindset like, okay, this is what Hashem wanted, didn't work out. Okay, I dated her for so long. Well, what can I do already? What am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to die because she left me? Okay, it didn't work out. What am I supposed to do? Sulk about it for the rest of my life? Or let's say not. Let's say she ended up having a good life. But it wasn't for me. It's not for me. I have to learn how to live past it and continue going. And that's, to my opinion, that's heaven and hell in this earth. The point of life is to bring out godliness. When a person comes with a positive thinking, his mindset is more positive. His mindset is more in a more, not spiritual, but he looks at things more in a macro and micro, meaning macro, the world is bigger than me, but also micro, that I'm going through the struggle. It has to be, there is a benefit in it. I don't know it now. I really don't know it now, but you know what? It's okay not to know. It's perfectly fine not to know. Nothing's going to happen. You just have to continue pushing yourself. And I think this is what people are missing. We're so into the right now, into the fast-paced life, into, just this whole thing killed our understanding of patience. Patience, you should know something, is a gift. Patience is not a weakness. Patience is not a weakness. To be impulsive is a weakness. Because being impulsive means I'm listening to my emotions. Patience means I'm listening to my logic right now. It's two different things. We're too used to, you gotta act fast. Well, 1 second. Strategize. Is it good? Is it not good? How do I grow? How I don't grow? And so on and so forth. So when you say, sometimes I feel like I'm living hell, and I totally believe you. 100%. Why? Because your mindset is that way right now. The way to change it is by looking at things in a positive way. Even things that are not good, you gotta turn it into good. And I'm not talking about religion right now. You cannot forget about Torah mitzvot, because that is the source of everything. But at the same time, let's say someone has struggles with doing certain things, you have to someone falls in Avera. Being depressed is not going to help you. It's mamish not going to help you. You got to bounce back right away. Okay, I did it. I got to go weiter in life. I can't kill myself. There's so much good things I could do and I have to do. Yeah, I know I made a mistake. I do tshuva. One day I'm going to do a tikkun for it, but I got to go weiter. I got to go. And that should be the mindset. Because if you're going to sulk about the situation, what happens? You're stuck there forever. You're stuck. And that's called living hell.
Serious answer.
Serious question.
Let's go. Any other questions? Go ahead, guys. Don't nothing to be shy about. This is an open conversation, you know? I was thinking of opening up a podcast. As I was thinking about this months ago, actually. One of my friends was like, you gotta do it. You gotta do it. Like, nah, leave me alone with this. But yeah, I tell you why I want to do it. Because people have so many questions. You know, you need someone from the inside that understands what's up, that can relate to people. Not necessarily do you get that by everyone, because some people are just like in a different world, like, you know, we're human. Over here is human realm, you know, and over here is not human realm. Let's go back to the human realm, you know, where people are human. You know what I mean?
Did you see there was a video of...
Don't say anything. Don't ask me if I saw certain videos and certain things. You know, it's recording, and we'll talk about it maybe after the shiur.
You saw it.
I don't know if it's proper or not. I don't know what you're talking about, honestly.
I know you.
Again, I don't know what you're talking. I can't even hear you.
Can I say it?
No.
Why
You
not?
just said no.
It's open space.
It's open space. What are we in therapy now? It's open space.
Shit.
Already. So
You're what I'm talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So why can't I say it?
Because maybe I did see it or maybe I didn't see
It's
it.
not bad.
It's not bad?
No, it's not bad.
Oh, so what is it?
It's about the military guy.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw that video.
Free. What about it?
Nothing. He was a guy that burned himself alive
No reason.
because he thought it's gonna make a difference, not knowing that doesn't help. All these people that protest really doesn't help. You're feeding a fire that's already there. You know what helps? When in your own circle, that means in your own mental mind, you start to develop certain kind of blockages for nonsense. Someone one time told me, when you have a group of friends, but you're not progressing, you're not in a group, you're in a jail. You're in a cage.
I like that.
You gotta break the cage and move on. Anyone that doesn't help you grow is just dead weight. That's what it is. If it's materialistically, if it's spiritually, if it's lifely, if those people are just deadbeats, you have to move on from them. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna be lonely. But down the line, it will be the best decision you did in your life. Because you can't allow yourself because of your comfortability. That's the problem. Comfortability is what killed the cat, Mary used to always tell me. When a person's too comfortable, he doesn't want to progress. And that's why people actually have challenges. The challenges God gives you is because God's telling you, I don't want you to be comfortable. I know there is more potential in you. So what am I going to do? I'm going to squeeze you till you cannot anymore. And now you're going to have a choice. Am I going to go to sleep and say I can't handle it? Or am I going to say I need someone to dig me out and I'm going to fight? If it's money, if it's, God forbid, I don't want to say, I don't know, but the math Satan, but losing someone that you love in the family. If it's anything, starting a new career, getting into a new understanding of life, getting help for yourself, going through therapy and all these stuff that you need. But once you do it and you start to see success in yourself, you're the best. Why? Because you actually took action. You know who always laughs? The ones that don't take action. Because they live in their own misery.
What do you mean laughs?
The ones that laugh at you, why are you doing this? What's wrong with you? Your life is...
Justified.
They themselves are living in their own misery. They can't see other people progress mentally and physically. So what do? They only downgrade. They do the guilt. That's something we have to break.
It's true. If you feel like someone's getting better than you, you're scared.
It's a problem. It's a huge problem. That's why in life you have to... I was by a close friend of mine. He told me, he looked at me, he said, when I started having a lot of success in my business and this, when I stopped caring what people said.
Oh, yeah?
Straight up, that's what he told me. He said, the day I stopped caring what people said, he said, I don't care to the point that if they would even hurt me, I wouldn't care. Like, okay, have a good day. He said, the second I reached that understanding, only success came to me. Because I realized I'm working for a goal, I'm not working for a person. That's the problem with people. We're here trying to please the world, we're forgetting we have to please your goal and focus has to be a Kodesh Baruch. God wants you to do good, He wants you to be successful. He does. He wants us all to be like the sun. The problem is we get stuck by the little dust particles in the air. Why? Because we see it. We see the dust particle. But when you look at the sun, oh my God, it's too far. How am I gonna get to there? I know you work hard enough, you're gonna be as strong as the sun. I'm good with the dust particle in the air. That's our mistake. We're not allowed to think that way. We need to progress, and that's why when you told me that your Rebbe told you have to do this first and that first and this first and that, these stuff are good. Honestly, they're very good, but they're not long lasting, because that's a decision that He made for you. It has to be a decision that you make for yourself. You can ask for advice, but who actually makes the decision? Who actually does it? The person himself. So what do? We get advice from people and then we scream at them, oh, your advice didn't work. Whoa, 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 whoa. My advice was words.
Your actions.
Your actions had to make my words into a physical kli. But you didn't do that. So why are you complaining about me? It's not me, it's really you, right? And that's the way we grow out of this. Am I really living in hell or am I living in heaven? Because the reality is you make your hell and you make your heaven. The point is not to feel empty. The point, if you have struggle, it's okay to have struggle. It's perfectly fine. You need it. That's what allows you to grow. Everyone has struggle. Don't look at me that I'm coming here and I'm talking. There's a lot of things that are going on personally in my life that if I would tell you, how would you tell me, I don't know how you handle it. But in life you have to just push certain things aside and say there are things that are more important that I have to dwell. I have to continue going. I have to push and I have to make it, and I have to always think Hashem is here and He knows what's best for me, and okay, I don't understand. I gotta go weiter. I gotta push myself. That's what we have to do. And I'm telling you, at the end, when you see that light at the end, and that's why really Olam Haba is where? Where's Olam Haba? It's here. The resurrection of the dead is in which world?
Here.
It's in planet Earth. We're not flying away. Why is it here? Because over here we have to make a Gan Eden. How do we do that? By changing our mindset. It's a view of the mind. Through the guidance of Torah Mitzvot. That's what it is. It sounds so simple, right? And poetic and nice. But it's a work. It's a hustle. You gotta hustle hard for it. But it's very rewarding at the end. Extremely rewarding. Next question. You want it to soak in like a sponge? You'll rewatch it, don't worry. Nothing? You good? How about you guys? Good? Left field? Okay. So let's get to the shiur. I thought you guys wanted. The guys there, we talk about anything.
You just went out the window.
Why?
You hit it like a full court shot, just memorized.
Okay, let's go. We're having this week's Parashat. What's this week's Parashat? Tisa. Tisa, Rosh Bnei Israel. Hashem commands the Moshe Rabbeinu to do a certain accounting. Count the Jewish people.
That second thing?
Yeah. Really, this week, every time this Parasha falls, it's really in time of Purim, but since it's a leap year, everything goes a little different. I do want to talk about the story of Purim, not this week, maybe next week. Maybe the week after, we have to see. I have to juggle it in. Purim is
26.
Such an amazing holiday.
Alright, what's the craziest thing you heard about this whole Purim story? And the Megillah, the craziest thing you heard?
What do you mean?
The Megillah, every year, your age, they tell you a different story. They they sugarcoat it. They say this, they say that, and the older you get, the more detail you get. So what's the craziest thing you heard about this whole Purim story? Like when you heard it, you're like, wow.
This year, nothing yet.
No, like any year. Like something Kabbalistic that happened.
Yeah, you
like-
should know something about me. I don't get too inspired from Kabbalistic things. I'll tell you why.
Maybe people.
It's a chisar maybe on my part. When you grow up with it, unfortunately, there's a sense of a devaluing in oneself. It's a problem on my part.
That's what some people that are born too religious, they want to run away from.
No. People like that's something else. That's because they weren't introduced to Torah mitzvot properly. They were introduced to Torah mitzvot in a very improper fashion. That has nothing to do with anything.
Okay.
Absolutely not. And I hold very strong with that. Kids that fall off their eggs was they were introduced to Torah mitzvot in a very improper way. Very improper. If it was by force, if it was from not understanding, if it was from parents that were very unsensitive towards the children's feelings, and so on and so forth. If the parents were uneducated, they didn't know how to explain it properly to the kids. If the parents were living a dual life.
Could you say it also has like something to do with like God, like
Well, just-
instead of like putting that child, because
Sure,
they have to go.
I
through
do
certain
believe
steps?
in that 100%. I know there are certain souls that go to certain families and certain challenges that parents need to go through, and I do believe. I don't always say it's the parents' fault. I don't always say it's the child's fault. I also sometimes say this is what Hashem Kadosh Baruch Hu was chonen, gifted to that family, and they have to deal with it. That's what I do. I don't wish that test on anyone, but I do believe in that very much.
I know Rebbe, he has daughters.
I know. I don't want to get daughters good, they're
I'm
not
saying.
bad, whatever. It doesn't make a difference.
So he has that. He's great.
It doesn't make it. That's just what Hakadosh Baruch Hu gives everyone different tests that He knows He can handle. You have to understand that. Hakadosh Baruch Hu knows what He's doing. You see how I said before? I don't understand. I don't understand a lot of things. What always fascinates me about the Megillah, which I always try to always, every year, I love to always repeat this drasha, is when Mordechai tells Esther that the decree of Haman came out, and Haman, with the signature of the king, whatever the case was, with the decree of the king, with the signature of Haman, was going to kill the Jews. Go to Achashverosh's room. He had a big room full of zonot, full of women. He was very into that. He loved to be physically intimate. I don't know. Everyone to their own thing. And what happened was, she went back to Mordechai and said, I can't. Because if I go there, I'm going to die. It was a rule that if you were not called from the king, you cannot disturb him. You had to go, and if you were lucky, if you touched his staff, you would be saved. And then we don't know the miracle, her hand stretched, this, that, whatever the case is, right? But here's the punchline that always gets me. Mordechai answers back Esther and says, I wish I knew the words by heart, I would tell it to you by heart. And said, how do you know that you were put in this position just for this to go save the Jewish people? Then he says something very interesting. The salvation has to come. And if not from you, it will come from somebody else. And why is this line so... People are skimming this part so fast because Mordechai knows that there's going to be a salvation. He knows someone's going to save the Jewish people. He knows it. And yet he still fasts for 3 days and 3 nights. It was Pesach, Doraita that they didn't do. Yet he still makes a gathering of Jews. But you knew someone's going to save. How come you needed to do that? It's because without doing hishtadlut, without showing self-effort, there is no success. People are forgetting this. You have to show effort. Like a marriage. You can't say, it's gonna work out if it works out. If it doesn't work out, it's not gonna work out.
Definitely not gonna work out.
What are you, a dog? If you're not gonna put time, if you're not gonna give attention, if you're not gonna work on yourself, both sides, both husband and wife, to each their own, it's not gonna work. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be.
Now, how do you tell something?
You know, sometimes I one time told a couple, I said, stand in the road, let me drive. You have to stand. But if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Something's gonna happen. Maybe the car's gonna levitate, you're gonna fly. I don't know. But if it's meant to hit you, it's gonna hit you. I said, that's the way you sound. You have to you gotta do something in order for it to work out or not. People are forgetting this. The salvation is there. You and I know it's there. But where's the effort? The effort's not there. And every time I read the Megillah, this thing always reminds me. We're here, there is a certain purpose for us here. We don't all know what our purpose is. But it's there. And we have to try with all our might to do what's right. And even if we don't understand, it's okay not to understand. You're not the Ein Sof. You're not Kadosh Baruch Hu. You're not gonna know everything. Okay, not the end of the world.
No, of course. Rabbi, how do you know when you're going out? You don't know who's gonna put the effort.
Again, dating question?
Just a question on that. You talked about it, Rabbi. Just bring it up. You don't know, Rabbi. What do you mean?
Okay, what's your question?
You don't know who's gonna put in the
Ask
effort.
a question normally. You're asking in the middle of a question.
Alright, so basically what I'm saying is let's just say you go on a date, things like that.
It's a dating question. We talked about
It's a
in the
rip
beginning
shot
of class.
question.
Okay.
How do you know that the other person? I'm saying I want to obviously put effort.
Listen,
How do
yeah,
know?
you never know. I'm being honest with
Because
you.
what are you gonna do? Say marriage is pretty clear. No,
You never know.
you know.
The point of going out is one thing. To see if you have the same goals in life.
Compatible.
That's it. Do you have the same goals? You're not gonna really know if she's really angry, if she's like this, unless she shows it to you. Then that's different. Then you have to make an evaluation. Do you want to live with such a person? But you have to know if you guys want the same goals. That's it. Do you want to have a more luxurious life? Do you want to have a simple life? Do you want to grow together? Do you understand the fact of living in struggle in the beginning and then growing? Or do you want to go into a marriage and right away get finessed without having $1 in your pocket, but yet look like you're $1 million? You know, do you want to live an Instagram life, or do you want to live a more modest life? That's all what really dating is. And if they're pretty for you and she's whatever, likewise the other way around. Everything else is all waste of time. I don't understand what men and guys and girls, I don't know if he's the right one. You're never gonna know. You're never gonna know. Because if you really knew, you'd never get divorced then. How come people get divorced after they get married? Because even then they don't know. Till you work on yourselves. That's what it is. Dating is really supposed to really take a couple weeks. Really. She's pretty, he's good looking, it matches. 1. Next. Do you have the same life goals? 2. You find out certain things about each other that you want to find out? That's it. Done. Finished. What more is there left? Who's his grandfather? Okay, you find all that. I know that stuff is important. But at the end of the day, Lamaisa, if you guys are mature and thing, you gotta move on. You gotta move on. This crisis of shidduchim only came because certain sects of Jews decided to make everything into Yibanism. Sorry for my language. Everything is a problem. Yeah, this, and that. Shut the hell up. How did your grandparents got married? They found someone normal. They lived happier than you living now. This is all nonsense. This whole resume, all this stuff. I'm telling you, students, unfortunately, you live in that society that's stuck in it. You guys are stuck. So you have no choice but to play the game. I understand your sorrow. You went on a date one time. She said, oh, this, that, but she didn't even go. She found out certain things and she said, oh, it's over. Okay, those are, I call that stupid, you know? You didn't give a chance. You know the person. Okay, whatever the case is.
What about you, sir?
Whatever the case is, you know, it is what it is. The person has to be there's nothing wrong with getting someone there is something wrong, but if a person is not on a religious level as you, but they say they want to grow and they show that they want, nothing wrong with that person. that person is actually better than a person that's already religious and is content. Because when someone's content, they don't feel like they need to grow. Elamai, a person that still wants to grow, he's always or she's always hungry. And it's very true. I see it all the time. People that get married to content families that are religious, quote unquote religious, they're not really religious. They don't really keep Torah, so they keep the surface Jew, right? Just they look Jewish, really inside all rotten and lashon hara and all the rechilut in the world, and they don't keep kashrut properly. They don't keep Torah mitzvot, but religious. They're all BS, shtuyot, right? And I have a whole. It's fine, but I don't want to get into it right now. But these kind of families, really, unless the girl or the son is someone that really you see that wants to strive, he's not living the yeshiva life in the sense of, I'm just trying to do the cycle of it, meaning I have to go to yeshiva, I have to go to kollel. When it becomes a duty and doesn't become a desire, that's the problem. It's a huge problem. It's a massive, massive problem. Now again, there are also negatives and other things, like once you marry into a non-religious family, raising kids, there's that, many questions come up, but it's something that you need guidance with someone. A person cannot excommunicate his parents, God forbid, or his family because he thinks he's keeping Torah mitzvot, so he has to excommunicate everyone. Absolutely not. There are ways how to do it to drag them into, to make them see the chashivut and the love and the light properly. Thank you. You understand? So this this idea is very, very wrong of just being segregated. Again, I hope that's enough for the dating. And I do wish you a lot of hatzlacha. I do pray for you. But praying, even though it's very helpful, you have to do action. Whatever needs to be done. My suggestion is the humbler the girl, the happier you'll be in life. The more her nose is in the air, the more you'll struggle in your life.
Struggle slip on already?
Not that kind of struggle. Because that's not a struggle, that's a suicide mission. It's two different things. A struggle is knowing that you could make it up the mountain. A suicide mission is climbing Mount Everest without any clothes. Do you understand the difference now? You have to understand something. When you have a partner, when you're planning to get married, and she doesn't understand the value of life and struggle and understand we have to grow together, the amount of neediness that's going to be in that relationship will drive the man to kill himself.
But how could she know that?
She can't know that. She has to either have a little doubt to understand that, or what's going to happen, she's just going to be, it's going to be very bad. That's whoever has daughters and is watching this video or has sons, they should introduce the word no to their kids. It's good to say no to them. Why? Because they'll learn that in life you don't always have to get whatever you want. There is a no. There is I can't get this, I don't deserve this, and so on and so forth. But to always be a giving parent, that can be the greatest destruction. Shlomo HaMelech says a father that doesn't discipline his child is killing his child. Why? Because through discipline comes normal moralities of humanity. And that's why I'm saying if a person marries a woman that's too entitled, it just gets bad. I'm going to be honest with you. I have a student that's in the middle of this kind of shidduch, and I tried hinting him out this many, many times. He just doesn't get it.
What do you mean hinting it out?
I even told it in black and white. I said, I don't know if this is proper.
What happened?
Whatever, let's make a difference. You don't even know who he is.
So does it make
But-
difference?
Yes, you could say it.
No, I cannot say name and stuff, but
No
I
names.
Name, just say the
I
story.
told you he's getting married to a very up in the nose kind of girl, someone that's it's not in his league. Not because she's better, no, because she was raised differently and she doesn't understand the concept of we need to grow together.
Same values?
Yeah, they don't have the same. No, they want the same goals, but they don't see it the same way how to get there. It's
Give
very
an example,
dangerous. It's very dangerous. But I hope it works out. I hope I'm wrong. But I think people do change in marriage. They do. I'm a very big believer in that. That people do change, meaning one bends to the other more. But if it's done properly, and usually if the woman puts the trust in the man, and the man is not a behemah, then they can have a very successful marriage. But if the man is a behemah and the woman does trust him, then it can lead to also issues. Also vice versa. Vice versa means the man bends to the woman and she's unfortunately not doing things properly. It can also lead to problems. But in the Torah says already, Vehu yishlot ban, he shall rule. Now rule doesn't mean like a slave. Rule means he is the one who does the final decisions. My father always told me, they always used to tell me, it's not about winning. It has nothing to do with winning. Absolutely not. So what is it about? Making the final decision. Now, some people don't have the chokhmah behind it to make their spouse feel like they're making the final decision, but really you were guiding them the whole time to do it. People don't have common sense anymore. So they go directly and they fight with their spouse. And not knowing that you could have done the same thing if you just knew how to sugar it around. And that's what happens when machloket happens, and divorce happens, and tragedy happens. You have to know how to talk. You have to know how to communicate. People don't have this anymore. Unfortunately, they don't have this. In this Parashat, we see something very important. We see Zechor לאברהם, ליצחק ולישראל עבדיך אשר נשבעת עליהם בך ודבר עליהם הרבה את זרעכם ככוכבי השמיים וכל הארץ הזאת אשר אמרתי אתן לזרעכם ונחלו לעולם. Hashem says black and white to Moshe. This week's Parashat, that this land that I told Abraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov will be his kids, which is us. Now, why is the land so important? Huh? Why is the land? What's this fight of land? Power. Is it really? It's the size of New Jersey. You think that's power? Think about it. Russia has the biggest country in the world, land space, land mass. Huh? Well, what's this whole thing? You know what it is? It's the question that it's similar to the question that you asked before. It's a sense of belonging. People like to feel a sense of belonging, a purpose. The Jewish people as a nation, we never felt a belonging until we lived in Eretz Israel. Tell me not, whenever you go to Israel, it's a different feeling. It's a different feeling because you feel like, Svai, this is I feel like I'm at home. I'm telling you, it's a whole different vibe. Even though you see the Goyim, or you see the Jews that look like they are, come from the moon. But at the end of the day, you're like, I feel at home. What's that feeling? A sense of belonging. A relationship between co-workers, a relationship between a spouse, and so on and so forth. A relationship between you and Hashem is only successful when you feel belong. You feel that I'm contributing to this relationship. You feel that there's a purpose of you in this relationship. That's the difference. The difference is when we do mitzvot, we don't feel a sense of belonging, like we're contributing everything. Why? God is endless, so he doesn't really need me, so I feel like a slave. But no. Even though he in essence is endless, he's Ein Sof, but the way he formulated the world of his revelation, not him, but his revelation on this world, which he made it in a very constrict way. So in this world, he made it that he's not endless, even though in essence he really is. But the way he formulated the world is he made it that he's not. We fill in that gap by doing Torah mitzvot. La'asod nachad ruach leotzreinu, la'asod ratzon boreinu. We say this in the Shem Yechud. We say it black and white in the Shem Yechud. We're giving a nachad ruach to Hashem when we do mitzvot. Hashem needs our nachad ruach. He needs us to do mitzvot to get nachad ruach. Absolutely not. He, in essence, the Ein Sof doesn't need us. But the way He created the world, in the Yud Kei Vav Kei and so on and so forth, they need us. Because they are really not the Ein Sof. This is the misunderstanding between a couple of rabbis that are having machloket. They're not arguing. They're both fighting about two different topics. People have to understand Hashem created us to do something on this world. Even a slave has a purpose. Are we less than a slave? If a slave has a purpose to serve his master to do what he needs, because a master needs certain things to get done because a master is never going to do it, then for sure kama v'kama his kids. So now that we're going to finish the shiur, understand this pointer, that even though sometimes we feel life is bitter, that bitterness needs to be. Because that bitterness is your growth. And as hard as it seems, it's still there for a reason. And we're so needed in this world that this whole world cannot continue unless you're on this earth. Because if not, you wouldn't be on this earth. The fact that you're here, the world needs you more than you need the world. Baruch Adonai Olam. Amen. Amen.